We flew all the way to India to review this. This is a Fastrack smartwatch. It's actually by a sub-brand of Tata called Titan, and we own some of their watches, their real watches. It's actually okay for like $100. This costs less than a takeaway meal. It's $15 US, and it promises some pretty extreme things. So, is it any good? Well, no, it's pretty awful. Let's talk about that in today's video.
Okay guys, so as Matt explained, Fastrack is a sub-company of Titan, which is owned by Tata, you know, the famous car manufacturer here in India. You're probably seeing a few drive past me right now, and that was the famous horn of the weird buses here in Chennai. Guys, this place is unhinged. This watch is a little bit unhinged, if I'm being honest. Essentially, the brand was launched in 1998, but they are only recently now getting into smart wearables as they're seeing the popularity rise here in India. This thing is a value budget offering, super popular, because you can buy one for literally 1,500 rupees, which in Australian dollars is like 30 Australian dollars. So yeah, we've got it in our hands now. It looks cool. Let's get into the specs.
So this actually has quite a lot of cool stuff that come with it. You can do things like track 100 different sports. We'll talk about the tracking later, but let's just say I wouldn't be trusting any of the data that comes out of this thing.
I think each one of those sports is like an individual exercise though. So a sport is like a push-up.
Yeah. You get a 1.83 inch display. You also get a pretty nice design to it as well. I like the band and frankly, the way it looks. You can customize the faces as well. A lot of connected experiences. Whether you're using Android or iOS, you get a really, really good experience. And you get a 5-day battery life, or so they claim. But let's talk more about all of that.
Alrighty guys, let's talk display now, because you do get a 1.83 inch LCD display. No, it's not an OLED like you'll get on an Apple Watch, but that thing is like literally 20 times more expensive. As far as resolution goes, you get 240 by 286 pixels, which is about 203 pixels per inch. So I think the Apple Watch gets like 330, so significantly less. But to the eye, it does still look quite crisp, quite color accurate.
How's brightness? It's 450 nits, but can you see it?
Look, it's bright enough. If I turn around and it's kind of glary, I can still read it, which is kind of all you need, to be honest. Now, this watch is protected by Panda Glass. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna swing the watch into the wall and let's see if it breaks. I'm kidding, I'm not gonna do that. Matt was looking at me. The rest of the case is made of polycarbonate, which is basically just lightweight plastic. So yeah, it is pretty light, good for sport and exercise, but it does give it a bit of a cheaper feeling on the wrist. A downside of this watch is you're not gonna get as many sensors as you would on a flagship smartwatch. So something that we might take for granted, like an ambient light sensor on the Apple Watch, don't get on this. So if, for example, you're in a dark room and then you click it, you might just blind yourself with the 450 nits of peak brightness. Whereas in the sunlight, you definitely need it to be on max brightness to be able to read it. Let's pass it back to Matt, our local expert on health and fitness, to talk about the health and fitness tracking, because this thing is weird.
All right, I'm gonna start this section by saying I'm now on 864 steps. See right there? Let's see what I am on by the end of this section. So tracking on this watch is frankly terrible. It is so bad.
I would go as far as to say it's not functional.
No, it's to the point where it's clearly just making up results. You can stick this on a table and it will give you a heart reading, and it will always tell you your sats, your oxygen saturation is about 97%, which is great for the table, but a little bit concerning because what's it picking up?
Honestly, mate, I'm starting to believe in ghosts.
I also had an experience yesterday. I wish I captured this on B-roll, but it told me that my menstrual cycle was going to be starting soon, and I'm sure I didn't set that up.
Bold of you to assume that.
The other thing is just the step tracking. It is genuinely terrible. So let's use my iPhone, which already isn't the best. It's fine, but it's the most accurate thing I have on me now. Remember guys, I literally just rolled out of bed. You know, not far off. This is telling me I've done 555 steps today, which is probably way more than I really have done. Now this watch is telling me I've done 928 steps.
So it's gone up by 150 just standing here.
I don't know how any of that works. Frankly, it doesn't, but that's okay. You know, it does its own thing. In terms of tracking, guys, it's terrible. It's essentially just fake. It's not doing anything right. So that does kind of suck. But
that sucks.
I guess $15 US yes. All right, let's talk about battery and charging, because frankly, it's a 50% good story. Hey, that's a win. That's a win, Daddy Jacob.
That is a win for this kind of price category.
So the battery size itself is 280 milliamp hours, which seems absolutely tiny. However, because there isn't much going on inside of this thing's brain, it's actually fine. They claim 5 days of battery life though. As soon as you turn on the sensors and the Bluetooth, which is everything, it goes down to 3 days. So keep that in mind. By the way, the sensors at the back, they do work. They just don't read anything properly.
I think they're just incredibly inaccurate. That's the only problem.
I would say the worst thing about this watch, everything considered, is actually the way it charges. It uses a proprietary, terrible charger. It is so bad. It barely stays on. It does use magnets, but they're the worst magnets ever. And it charges abysmally slow. How hard could it be to put in a USB-C?
I mean, it's a 280 milliamp hour battery, mate. It should charge in like 5 minutes.
Yeah, it takes literally hours to get a full charge. Quite terrible. However, you will get about 3 to 5 days of battery life depending on your usage. This one here, it's about 70%, and I've literally used it for a day and a half. So that's pretty good. That would give me about 5 days because I'm not using it for sleep.
Yeah,
not worth it.
It's a good way to track your menstrual cycle though. Yeah. Guys, there's nothing more calming than a walled garden with some waterworks behind you. And you know, there's nothing more frustrating than a poor software experience. Is this a poor software experience?
Yes.
Kind of. Let me explain. So we actually struggled a little bit to get this thing connected to the iPhone, but one of the advantages of using this proprietary software that it runs on is that you can use it with both iOS and Android. So it doesn't use Wear OS or whatever the other version is of that. And it also connects with the Fastrack app, so you can see all of the extra steps you're doing.
Yeah. All the incorrect information.
Just completely incorrect information, but at least you can see it on your phone. Now, if we're looking at something like an Apple Watch, yeah, you'll get about 64 gigabytes of onboard memory. This thing, 16 megabytes. So yeah, you're not going to be able to store as much onboard data and information as an Apple Watch. $15 US. Come on.
What about the software of the watch?
Look, it's good, it's responsive. I would say it's quite basic compared to an Apple Watch. It's not going to give that same level of experience. However, once again, $15 US, it's good enough.
You know what my favorite feature of that is?
What?
It's the cropping of your face onto the faces of the watch, which by the way, there are quite a few faces to choose from.
And like I said, guys, the connected app is actually quite good. So you can, take a photo on your phone, upload it to the app, and then set it as the background of the watch, which Matt's been enjoying playing.
I've partaken.
You partake in all the weird stuff, don't you? So obviously, only having 16 megabytes on board, it unfortunately does lack any kind of third-party app integration. So you can't really connect other apps, like for example, Fitbit tracking or other tracking apps to this watch, which I guess is kind of a good thing because you don't want this inaccurate data affecting your Apple Health, for example.
I turned it off immediately.
Yeah, like you don't want that. So yeah, make sure you keep that in mind. All right, that's enough waffling from me. Let's get to the final thoughts.
Okay, so should you go out and spend $15 US to buy yourself India's most popular smartwatch, Tata's Fastrack Glide X? The answer is a solid no. Like, honestly.
I mean, it's a cool looking watch though.
Cool looking watch. It has basic functionality like the Bluetooth connection, so you will get notified when you get things. Call quality is genuinely awful. The software experience is actually quite good. I'll give it that. However, the tracking, which is really the whole point of this watch, the health tracking stuff, terrible. It's
honestly, guys,
really
if you
bad.
need that, just cough up a bit extra and get a Fitbit.
Yeah, you're worth spending a bit more to get a bit better of a watch. But you know what? It's been a fun experience reviewing it. I'm certainly never going to wear it again, but let us know what you guys think down in the comment section.
Is that my face?
That is still your face. Of course, share this video with a friend, like it really helps the channel out. And let us know in the comment section, are you gonna go out and buy yourself a Fastrack Glide X? And of course, if you did enjoy the video, please do subscribe. We'd love to have you around for the next one.
And of course, let us know what we should review next.
There's a lot of products.
There's a lot of stuff out there.
Ciao from India.
Bye-bye.